Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your man, Marquita Durrell, and welcome to What's Hot with Pop. Today in the studio, I have the one, the only Miss Linda Williamson. Miss Linda, say hello to the.
Hi, how you all doing?
Today, we're gonna be talking about domestic violence and dating with teens and things like that. So, Miss Linda, tell me about this domestic violence.
Well, Louisiana ranks fifth in the nation for women being abused. And breast cancer awareness is always highlighted, but if a woman can't make it to the hospital, you know, it's a sad scenario. And so what we have done, it was to, Betty Isaac and myself and Erika Walkers, was to
Hmm.
highlight domestic violence.
Okay. What about domestic violence? What are the highlights of your stories?
The highlight of my story is that I lost a sister to domestic violence, and myself, I was personally involved in domestic violence for years. And so what I did, I prayed when Linda K. Ruffin had got killed years ago, and I went to Miss Janelle Shagwar and informed her about this, that my heart was heavy, and she said that was my journey.
Yeah.
So then that's when she connected me with Senator Cravens, and I went on, and that's how I started on this journey along with Linda Boudreaux.
Okay. When you was in that relationship, how did that make you feel?
Well, it made me feel bad because I wore shades, and it's one thing about when a woman is being abused, you try to hide it, but people talk, and people can hear you
Mhm.
scream, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it, but I didn't know how to get out of the situation.
True. Can you tell when somebody's in these type of relationships?
Yes, because their significant partner don't want them to leave the house, or they want them to make up an excuse and say they ran into the wall, or they don't want them to be with their family members. They just
Mhm.
want to keep them secluded in the house.
Yeah. So do you have anything for these girls that are in these type of relationships?
Yes, so they have Faith House where a lot of the women can go to, but as I stated, we started doing events at the Northgate Mall
Mhm.
with the Clifton Chanel, which you were a part of.
Yeah.
We just kept highlighting it, and along with Extra Mile, and we just took it upon ourselves to make a difference, because it take more than just one person, to make a difference, and we all try to connect together to empower our women and young people, because young people are starting to date young too, like yourself.
So what you got for the young daters, like a word of encouragement
A word
wise?
of encouragement is try to find someone that you can confide in, and not to judge them. Like if you're talking to her and you him or her,
Mhm.
and ask them not to abuse them, and beware of the situation. Just make sure that they're comfortable with telling you this, because it could be life and death.
Yes. Who are some people that helped you like start all this? Like, how did you get involved with?
Well, like I said, I went to Janelle Shagwar,
Mm-hmm.
and then we did our first walk to St. Paul's when he opened the church, and then they had Imani Temple helped us, Arches, um, Beauty Salon helped us, and Gandhi, and Margie Broussard, and even the Louisiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, Extra Mile was my stepping stone,
Okay.
because it opened up a door for me.
Yeah. Well, I know doing this program with you, you had a couple of these silent witnesses. Tell me about that.
Well, the Silent Witnesses started in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got connected with them when we did our first Silent Witness in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, of a young lady that lost her life years ago. But this one here, Sharika Chantel Broussard, she lost her life in Kid Mall, you know. And so what we did, her father made that of her. And like I said, it was a group of artists that started the Silent Witness program. And the breastplate tells a story of them,
Mm-hmm.
the date they were born, and the year that their life was taken. And the family does that, you know, because it's an emotional time for them. And then the Silent Witnesses, they'll travel.
Get it and pull it this way so they can see it.
Mhm. And this is the
We'll put it.
statue. Okay. Yeah. And so we do a lot of these silent witnesses, and I have one of my sister, And so this is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And we have one at St. Paul's.
Yeah.
Linda Ruffin.
Ms. Ruffin.
Yeah, we have her family wanted it to stay right there at St. Paul's. And we have one of Charlotte Mallory in Bro Bridge. And we always tell family, like, it's up to you. When we do a silent witness, wherever you want it, you know, we willing to go ahead and put one there.
Tell us about the one at Mr. Archer's hair salon.
Yeah, Mr. Archie, because they have beauty salons against domestic violence. Mr. Archie wanted to do his part. And so we took a witness and put it there because women get their hair done.
Yeah.
And, you know, they talk amongst each other. And so he said it was powerful. So that's why I put one over there at his salon. And even at the city court with Mr. Picard.
Mr. Picard.
Yeah, we had one over there. And even at AOC. Excuse me. So what we do, we just put them everywhere, anywhere where the family wants them, and we always let the family know, because after all, this is their loved one that lost their life.
Yeah. Tell us about any upcoming events y'all have going on.
Yeah. Well, we're working on starting to do events at the Clifton Chanel, but what we do, we don't want to wait till October, which is Domestic Violence Month, and we also know it's breast cancer awareness, which breast cancer, everybody really be into that.
Yep.
So what we do it year round. We try to put PSAs on the Kid Open channel to highlight domestic violence because it's still happening, and it happens more so in the workplace.
Okay, cool. So, tell me about this Sheila Shaws.
Yeah, the Sheila Shaws, the senator and his wife lost their life in a plane crash, and this is what they started, and it's free. And all you have to do is get in touch with them and send them a donation. And this is a source of hope and healing. And if you could read something on there to let them know about it.
This shawl is a gift to you in honor of Sheila Wilson, active and wife of former Senator Paul Wilson of Minnesota. Sheila was a tiresome concern on domestic violence issues and cared deeply about women and children caught in these relationships. We hope that you wear this shawl, you will feel the comfort, love, healing, and hope that has been carved in each switch. Wear it any way you like. Feel this as you release it. If you feel it, you should pass it to someone else who you know has been in that type of predicament.
Yes. Yeah. And that show, you can look at it, it's beautiful. That's a lot of love.
It's really nice. Like, it's amazing.
Yes. And so that's what we do at the events. We give the family member a shawl, you know, we can't bring the loved one back, but at least they can have that in memory of them.
Right. How many shawls y'all give, like, say, per year?
Yeah. Per year, I give about 9 shawls per year.
9 shawls per
Yeah,
year.
I give it to family members, I give it to women. And what we're going to start doing is giving them to a faith house, giving a box to faith house so they can give it to some of the women that are in shelter, you know, to make them feel at peace.
Okay. Give, in one word, give me a word that describes how you feel towards domestic violence.
Well,
besides anger.
No, I don't have anger because I learned 2 things dealing with domestic violence from Betty Isaac. Because when my brother-in-law killed my sister, I was angry. And then she informed me, how can you help other women when you got anger in your heart? And anger just bring more anger. So she said, the key thing is forgiveness. Just like God forgive us, we have to find a way to forgive. And I learned to forgive him. And my niece asked me, and Linda, what are you going to do for Mother's Day? A couple of years ago, I called my brother-in-law, and I said, I forgive you. And he said, yes, I forgive you. And I was in a state of shock. I said, but then I said, you know what? I did it, and I feel better, you know, because he was sick too.
Yeah.
So forgiveness is the answer.
So forgiveness. Tell us about the shirt you're wearing.
The shirt I'm wearing is my sister, T. May. And these I'm with the Rika Walkers against domestic violence. And this is Sharika, and that's 3 family members at one time that was lost to domestic violence. And I have 2 more witnesses of them also, and plus one of my sisters. So So we like to the pictures, as you can see, it's powerful. It really is powerful. And you know what? I said God is good because you know what? Because I know that we making a difference in the family's life.
Yes. Tell us about the Sharika Walkers. What they do?
Well, the Sharika Walkers started an organization in memory of Sharika, and they call it the Rika Walkers Against Domestic Violence. And like they do ride horses, but more so they trying to highlight domestic violence in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, and then we go network here.
Yeah.
And I want to give heads out to Linda Boudreaux because she found another organization that's networking with us, so we can empower our community. Because the more people that get on board, domestic violence, the word is going to get around, and we can save a life.
Yes.
And I believe that.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. What else you have to say towards domestic violence? Oh,
Well, I have to say, if anybody's interested in coming on board, like I said, we do free events, and we are not a 501c, so we don't worry about that. We just do what God tell us to do, the journey that He has put us on. Because when He put you on a journey, you have to stay on that journey. And if they're interested, they could call Mr. Ricky Sam at 337-230-9159, or myself at 443-8522 for more info.
8522. Okay. So when is your next program?
Well, we're still working on it because, as I said, we both work, so we just put PSAs on for now.
PSAs. Okay. Right. You have anything to say towards the young people with they dating and as they start to date?
Well, because the generation has changed, I just would like them to establish a bond with their family. If establish that bond and listen to your family. They tell you about the relationship that you in, and if you're being abused, let them know because they love you. They're not going to judge you. If anything, they want to just help you. So don't never be afraid to ask questions. And if you can't find anybody to talk to, I know y'all good on the internet. So look up Faith House and call somebody to get some counseling, or go to your school counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you feel towards these men that do this.
I think because the way I was brought up, I witnessed domestic violence coming up. And I had one son that was abusive, but he saw it coming up. And so I'm saying children who witness domestic violence, not all of them are follow the steps, but more likely they'll follow because that's all they see. Because like I said, all three of my sisters, we've been abused. I had a sister got cut in the face. I had two sisters got beat, and that's because that's all we saw. We never saw no love.
Yeah.
So a child that comes from a home that's broken, it's like weighing up and down. So that's why you got to find that secret place, and people say all the time God, but not everybody have God in that home.
Yeah.
So we just have to just pray and keep making a difference. That's all we can do.
I remember we had a discussion at school, and one of the little boys said that his daddy said he used to beat his mama because he don't know how to love her. What you think he mean by that?
Well, maybe because of what he witnessed, he don't know. Because more than likely, when you don't love yourself, because if you know who you are, you're not going to abuse somebody that you love.
Right.
And that's what I found out, because when I was beaten up and everything, was telling me, he said he loved me, but then he told me one day he saw his mom and daddy fight. So that's all he knew. He thought that was love, but he knew he wasn't love.
Yeah.
But he was retaliating from what he experienced as a child.
And that's what I don't get. Like, they see things as children, but they grow up to do that, whereby it gets too bad, whereby it's too late to get help.
Yeah.
Like, if you know you're going through that stage of mind, get help. Go talk to somebody, get help. Like, it's not that bad, whereby you have to take a young lady's life.
Oh, yes, indeed.
If it's that bad in a relationship, get away from it. Nobody should be killed over a relationship. Nobody. That's just like nobody should be killed over drugs, or nobody should be killed over guns.
Yeah,
It starts with us. We have to stop the violence.
that's right.
We, the black people, we have to stop the violence.
Yes,
We
indeed.
have to stand up and say it's enough.
Yes, and quit being a talker and be a doer. And you like you say, you are the next generation.
Yes.
And and everybody, you see, when I was coming up, people would just fist fight. Now they don't want to fist fight. They want to use guns, and they've got bullying going on. There's so much going on. And I think we, as like you stated, as people need to come together. Like, you can't pull this way and I can't pull this way. We all should be on the same accord. That's what it's all about, saving a life.
Yeah. I remember my mom used to tell me that when she was growing up, she don't care who it was. They could have correct her, could have whooped her, and then go tell your mama, and you'd still get another whooping.
Yeah.
I wish it would be like that, because like it's really time to settle down with it. We losing our teenagers, we losing our adults.
But
Life is too short for that.
Yeah, but I recall I had told my baby when we was in the store on the north side. I said, this is all the money I have. When we get in the store, that's the tennis shoes you're getting. Why, when we got in the store, he wanted the expensive tennis shoes. So me not thinking, I just pop them. So when I pop them, somebody called the cops. And so I had to go to a class. They said that there was abuse. But you see, when they step in, and you can't discipline them kids, that's why they're like they are.
Yeah. Yep. Like my mama say, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to raise you the way I want to raise you, rather than letting the white man raise you in any kind of way. Because he's just going to take a billy club and go upside your head without love.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
doing it through love.
Yes.
And I thank her for that, because it brought me up to be a fine young man. And I can honestly say that I'm not in the streets. I go to school. I'm in the church. I'm active in my community, and I thank her for that. Like it really brought me a long way, keeping me out of trouble.
And that's what it's all about. Because I believe an idle time is a devil's workshop, and that's true. If you don't have nothing to do, and school getting ready to close, and and I just hope our young people find a safe haven, and don't be fighting, don't get into abusive situations. Find somebody that you can talk to, because I know me myself. I love my community. I love people. If somebody going through something, please let me know.
Right.
Because it don't cost nothing to listen. And if I can help you, I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna hurt you.
I got one thing. Y'all young people, if y'all find yourselves in a sticky situation, y'all turn to the elderly. Y'all think they elderly, but they not. They wiser than y'all. They can lead y'all in the right direction. They can give y'all the advice y'all need. If y'all need help, just go to them. Sit down and talk with one of them, and you'll see the difference. Like, just have a general conversation about life, and you're gonna see a different outcome on it. That's all I got to say.
Yes, and I just want to say it was an honor to be here to speak, to my community, to empower you, to tell you love is the answer. If you know somebody going through something, talk to them. Don't try to be a hero and lose your life. Talk to them. If not, just call 911. Make a difference. Yeah. And thank you for having me here.
Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in. I am your man, Marquita Durrell, a.k.a. Pop. Thanks for watching another episode of What's Hot with Pop. Until we meet again, y'all stay safe. Y'all have a blessed one. I love y'all.
Love you too.